How to get the $25,000 grant. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I'm still working on my stein of morning coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this ABC News article discussing the $25,000 housing and renovation grants and some of the conditions that are associated with it. So it's not just free money. It almost is. But yeah, you've got to jump through some hoops, as always with government. Let's have a look at this and let's see if you will try and take advantage of it. So government to hand out $25,000 grants for housing construction, renovations to bolster the industry. So they're throwing 25 grand a pop at this. The federal government will give eligible Australians $25,000 to build or substantially renovate their homes in an effort to boost demand in the construction sector and keep builders employed. Industry bodies are painting a grim picture of the second half of this year, warning that the economic downturn associated with the pandemic could see the number of building projects in the pipeline plummet, putting hundreds of thousands of people out of work in a valley of death scenario. In an attempt to boost new projects between now and the end of the year, the government will give $25,000 grants to owner-occupiers for certain works on their homes. So owner-occupiers, it can't be investors. It's not going to be our friend with the 200,000 investment properties. But eligibility for the government's program, which it dubbed Home Builder, I thought it was going to be Housekeeper anyway, will be restricted to substantial renovations and the construction of new homes, with recipients required to spend at least $150,000 before being eligible. The grants will be means tested to exclude couples making more than $200,000 per year and individuals making more than $125,000 per year, while limits will also be placed on the value of the property the grant goes towards. Will that be the value pre or post grant? New builds will be capped at $750,000, while renovations can cost anywhere between $150,000 and $750,000, but will only be subsidized if the house being altered is valued at less than $1.5 million. So this isn't aimed at the upper echelons. It's aimed at the smaller projects. I mean, 150 grand is a decent amount of money. You'd have to do some significant renovation or extension work to your house to get to that figure. It's not a do-it-yourself. I mean, you'd need a hell of a kitchen or a bathroom to reach 150. I'm sure some people could. But I can't imagine pumping that much into one room or one part of the house would be worth it. We're looking here on our house. We bought a Queenslander. We want to lift, raise, and build, essentially double our entire building footprint underneath. That's why we bought this place. One of the advantages and disadvantages of a Queenslander. Because until you do that, you got father-in-laws storing all their stuff under the house. The scheme will not apply to investment properties or owners who intend on building or renovating on their own without the help of a builder. Okay, so you can't do owner builders. There'd been concern from some in the industry that the government money would incentivize cowboys to rush into the market with little regard for health and safety, which the scheme takes steps to address. So, I mean, you're going to have to go with a real builder. It's not going to be the same dodginess of the pink bat scheme. If we all remember Rudd's brilliant idea of putting insulation bats in all the roofs of houses, and people actually died because everyone thought they could do it and they didn't manage the risks there. And it's quite tragic, actually, that people are dying for insulation in roofs. So they include requiring that all eligible builders be licensed or registered before the government's announcement, keeping the time frame for the scheme to 6 months and having tighter eligibility for the program. So you can only go with a real builder. And frankly, when you're looking at doing this work, you would want to go to the licensing authority. You would want to get evidence about the finances of the builder. You would want to make sure they've got no complaints put against them. Here in Queensland, you can do that with the QBC or QBCC or Triple C. They keep changing the name. You can do a search and find out. Makes sense? I'd do it. So that's good. That's good. I'm glad they're doing that, because particularly with all the issues we've got in construction, particularly in the multi-res. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said home builder would save jobs at a time when the industry was facing extreme uncertainty. This is about targeted taxpayer support for a limited time using existing systems to ensure the money gets used how it should be. Families looking for that bit of extra help might extra help to make significant investments themselves, he said. If you've been putting off that renovation or new build, the extra $25,000 we're putting on the table, along with the record low interest rates, means now's the time to get started. Renovation work will not include structures separate to the main property, such as swimming pools, tennis courts, and sheds. And the scheme will cost up to $688 million. So here's the thing, guys. If you have the opportunity to take advantage of this, and you don't, you'll still be paying the cost of it. You won't get the benefit. So there is this perverse situation where we're all incentivized to take advantage of this because we're going to be paying for it otherwise. But then, do you want to pull that work that you have planned? Pull it forward. Pull it forward for $25,000. $25,000 ain't that much on a $750 build or extension. But if it adds to a new build, it can help get that project across the line. In recent weeks, Labour and the Greens have called on the government to bolster the construction industry by investing in social and public housing. However, the scheme does not address the issue. We need to see social and public housing as a key part of any package of measures to support the building industry, Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers said earlier on Wednesday. Okay, now, the one problem with social and public housing, the way it's procured through all the government agencies and loopholes, this is a different sector. This is going to target, I think this is going to be faster and more efficient, to be honest. This is the private sector will keep going. You won't lose that. You won't have to jump through all the hoops for government. Just to do government work, here in Queensland, you need to get for an architect, you need to do all these PQCs, all this paperwork, all this stuff. And then you're still competing with every man and his dog to jump through the hoops. Australians will take a dim view of a package that's announced in the coming days that doesn't at least deal with the fact that too many workers have been excluded from the bungled JobKeeper scheme, the fact that social housing needs to be part of a package to support the building industry. To be eligible for the grants, homeowners will need to enlist a licensed builder to complete the work. Asked why the government would only deliver grants for renovation works costing more than $150,000, the Housing Minister, Michael Sukkar, said, "We want people to have skin in the game. Our expectation is that many thousands of Australians will use this as an opportunity," he said. "Our advice from the industry and Treasury is that this will be the catalyst for many thousands of Australians to make that decision to embark upon a renovation." The Master Builders Association has vocally called for more support for the construction sector, warning that without assistance, forward contracts could be expected to fall by 40%. The lag effect of building activity means that home builder comes just in time for builders and tradies staring out at a valley of death, with forward work for the next 6 to 12 months fast evaporating, Chief Executive Danita Warren said. The government has forecast the home builder program could cost up to $688 billion, which would translate to about 27,500 people or couples successfully applying for the grants. However, like the government's JobKeeper program, Home Builder will be available to anybody who successfully applies, meaning no final costs has been given. Okay. The grants are available from today and will run until the end of the year. So, with that in mind, do you intend to apply for the grant? I mean, we have here ourselves, we are planning to do renovation work on our house. We've got a lift, we've got to redo the gutters, we've got to put a slab on ground, we want to extend out a new space for a kitchen. We were originally planning to do it in stages, just do the lift and the slab, and then extend out over there, do all of the plastering ourselves, run the wiring, and then get someone else to attach it all up ourselves. We were looking at doing all the costs, or as much of the work in stages with a owner builder's license. Because we can. Laying plaster is pretty easy. You can do it on your own home. It's fine. And we enjoy it. But under this, well, I wouldn't be able to do that, would I? I'd have to do have to pull that work forward and do it all in one hit. We'll have to see. We will have to see. I'll let you know if we do it. I think Rachel's pushing for it because, well, we need more room. That's part of the whole point here. But 25 grand? Maybe. I don't like the idea of doing it and going into debt. What about you? Will you jump on board? Will you take advantage of this? If you don't, are you going to miss out on an opportunity? We're all going to have to pay for it one way or another in the end. Do you think this will help the construction sector? I mean, the time frame is limited. It's got a 6-month window, so will that result in some overheating, in more costs? What if you sign the contract and allow the work to start a bit later? Could that be a way to deal with that? We'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. I'm encouraged that they're putting certain caveats on it. The fact that they need to be licensed, builders licensed before this was even announced. That I think is fantastic. It shows that they have, well, you're dealing with business people here. That's the one point of difference between the two sides of politics. You're dealing with people here that have an understanding of business and not just social issues, which sometimes you get from the left. And that's how we saw it in that horrible, horrible scheme with the pink bats. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel via Patreon or YouTube. You can support us on our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can also use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us from PayPal. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video.